It's always doing this. You trying to take it. You're not going to eat that in the closet. Damn tomato plants growing out my carpet. Eat from over here. I done already put down. It's too early. Get your turtle. All day long. Always in trouble. Eat on the sheet, Birdie. Amazon emailed me like delivery, and I'm like, what delivery? I ain't delivery nothing. Cashews, $17.99 off of Amazon. These are the only ones that I like because they're roasted. I eat them with my pumpkin seeds because the kids have their own. I have my own because they're not finna eat all my stuff. Snack. Forgot I ordered it. Look at them. Y'all good now? This stay whole room. Kids. I caught myself being crazy last night. I have obsessive compulsive disorder, and that's not something I've been diagnosed with, but I know that I have it. I have been diagnosed with avoidant personality disorder, which is new. I was diagnosed with that like 6 months ago, and bipolar disorder, which I was diagnosed with earlier on in my life, which is weird because you usually don't get diagnosed for that until your early teens, early adulthood. But I got diagnosed with bipolar as a child, which is weird. I didn't know that was weird at the time, but I know it to be odd now because that's not, they don't usually diagnose children with bipolar disorder. So, a little bit of back history to how we got here. I do my nails every single day. I'm always cleaning, and I always have my hands immersed in some type of abrasive cleaner, which is usually bleach, Dawn, and water. So, because I've connected my chemical usage to some hormonal issues that I've been having, I have to change my diet and I have to get rid of the chemicals. So, we're going to go from using like Dial and Dove, which I did love Dove, but it was always a little strong for me. Even the sensitive one is starting to get overwhelming. My senses are changing, they're becoming more sensitive. Light, sound, smell, taste, all of that. And maybe that's from isolating myself for so long. I'm not sure, but I feel like my intuition is getting stronger. I'm going to replace the body wash with Castile soap, which is a plant based cleanser. And then I found, I believe it's called Viva essential oils. I found a place that just does essential oils and they're therapeutic grade. And I can get a very, very good price on them. I'm not for trusting Amazon when it comes to stuff that I put on my body. I barely want to buy my incense on there. But when it comes to oils, you got to be real careful. Vitamin E oil is not just vitamin E oil. It's actually different oils that have vitamin E in them combined. I did not know that. You can't just go around buying anything, girl. You're going to have to become a scientist, a researcher, a scholar. Because these people out here are scamming. And it's not just people from Atlanta. It's companies scamming. As far as the cleansers, what I clean my house with, I'm going to replace the bleach with baking soda and white vinegar. I tried it last night. First, I used baking soda and peroxide, which was okay. I did that to whiten my dish towels. But then I'm like, I don't want to keep going through peroxide like that. I'm going to need something more. So then I activated the baking soda with the white vinegar. Ooh, that stuff started to bubbling. Tell me why. It had a fresh scent. After I soaked my dish towels, not my dish rags, my dish towels, because I have white ones and I have black ones, and then I have white dish rags. I have so many towels. We need them to dry our dishes, dry our hands, and to cover our dough so it can rise. So I have so many of them because I've got a baker son that likes to mess them up. And I like my stuff fresh. I like my stuff clean. But living with teenagers, it's not gonna happen. So I try my best to just hand wash them every day, hang them up, let them dry, reuse them. Because I don't have a washer and dryer. I have to go out of here to use it because we have a laundry room, but I'm not going down there. Some spaces don't feel safe. And where I live, they have a lot of spaces where there were dead people. Let me just say that. Even our post office, when I walk in there, I just get this awful feeling like people died in there horribly, and I can feel it. You can feel it. You can feel it. It's thick. I can hardly breathe in there because it's just so thick with death. Ugh, I don't like going to this post office. So there are just some spaces I'm not going to be. I'm too old not to listen to myself. My intuition has been hitting. My intuition was always on point. It was me not trusting my intuition. Let me not put charges on my intuition like it's not always been that girl. It's been me and my doubtful self. But I am not naturally doubtful. That was bred into me. The people around me were not trustworthy, and then they didn't trust me or see value in me. So they trained me and raised me up into be doubtful in myself and to doubt my abilities. Because every time I did something that was good, borderline exceptional, they pooped on it. Tuh, spit, kick, not good enough. That's what they did to me. So I grew up not thinking that I was good enough. But just deep inside of myself, I knew I was good enough. I knew I was better than them. In my heart. I have the biggest heart, the best heart that I know of. I can love you down, okay? I am just that girl when it comes to loving people. I have the most love to give of anyone I have ever known. It is awful. Oh my God. I spent my whole life getting my heart broken. Every person I've been with, I thought we were going to be together forever. And no one told me that when you slept with someone, that y'all weren't going to get married. I didn't know that. I grew up watching Disney movies. I did not know that. I thought that, if we go together forever. I think that intensity is what ruins my relationships. My husband and I devoured each other. Like, we just soaked each other up. We didn't have anything outside of the world that we had built. And it was like that for most of my adult life. And drugs ruined everything. Once he got locked up in jail and came back, he was a different person. If he didn't have he did. He had a heart before he went to jail. It was slight, but it was there. But once he got locked up and came back, he was an animal. He was never the same again. He didn't care about my tears. He didn't care about hurting me anymore. And that's why I will never let my sons go to jail. And they're not even that type. But they are the crash out type. And that's why I gotta tell them, don't be out here trying to save everybody, because they will throw on that cape real quick and it's not cute. Stop doing that, because you don't know what's going on over there. Please just mind your business. But you'll just be like, Spirit told me to do it. And I'll just be like, can you chill? Their dad was like that. Always in somebody's business, always trying to help somebody. But when I did it, you mad. Why are you going over there giving them all groceries and giving them the kids coats and stuff? Because them little kids didn't have no coats. Ghosts, that's why. You do the same thing I do. My husband and I were exactly the same. I don't even know how we start talking about it. And this is not about no daggone ghosts. So, the Castile soap and the vinegar and baking soda. I can't believe how good that vinegar and baking soda works. It made everything smell fresh. So to vacuum the carpet, I use baking soda. I put baking soda on my carpet and leave it for like 20 minutes to a half hour, and then I vacuum it up. When I tell you it looks clean, like I cleaned it, I thought my carpet was brown. It's not. It's definitely not. Not brown. Before I used the baking soda, I was pretty sure my carpet was brown. It's not brown. Well, maybe it's just me. Like, I know it's gray, but I thought it had brown undertones, but it has like tan undertones. It's a lot lighter than I thought that it was, because it was just dirty. Baking soda is a miracle. Magic in a box. I love it. I'm about to become a scientist because this stuff is cool. And of course, I put the baking soda in her kitty litter box. I clean that kitty litter box out every time she uses it. Oh, so back to what I was doing obsessively last night. My nails have damage because of the bleach, basically. And I don't even think you can really see it. And it probably wouldn't mean anything to anybody else, but that right there, it's like, I don't know, like a nerve ending or something under your nail. I don't know, but it hurts. And it, like, I don't know, there's like so many different layers to your nail. I don't know if you've ever noticed, But there's like the top hard layer, and then there's like this soft flesh in the middle, and then there's some soft flesh under it. I don't know. But do you see how my nails cut all weird here? And how I'm a little stabbed up here? Like, I've been obsessively messing with my nails. And I'll do it in the dark. I'll do it in the middle of the night. I don't know. I do it all the time. Because I'm trying to manage the damage. It like separates my nail. I don't know. The bleach screws my nail up. And I found that I was like obsessively digging through my nails while I was supposed to be trying to sleep. And just pushing the cuticles back, and it's obsessive. I used to be obsessive about my eyelash, because you probably can't see it, but I've got this eyelash that goes like this. When everybody else is nice and curved, it goes like this, and it'll stick together. So either it's like this or it's like this, but it's never uniform. Like the rest of my eyelashes, like, hello, it'd be so pretty. But it's just these two rogue lashes that are either like this or like this. And it used to drive me nuts, and I would obsess about that. I was obsessed about my eyebrows. You should see me the other day. I'm in there like this. It's crazy. To go nowhere and be seen by no one. But it's just the fact that it's on my body and I see it, that it matters. I don't know. So it's just something I noticed, and I'm definitely going to talk to my therapist about. I don't want her to give me any more diagnoses. What I like about my therapist is that she gives me a different perspective. She reframes the things that I tell her. If I'm lacking and I'm doing something wrong or I need improvement in an area, she reframes it and makes me feel less like crap. She, in 1 or 2 sentences, can make me see that why I'm doing what I'm doing, or why the other person's doing what they're doing, and how to look at it in a way that it can be managed or utilized for my benefit. That is class. She's a class act. Like, girl, what school did you go to? I am so impressed by my therapist. And I told her that I was like, there's no way you're not an excellent mother, because no matter what I say to you, you have a way of empowering me through my own mistakes. How do you do? I need to learn how to do that with my kids. That's something that was in my book. That Robert Greene book that I've been reading that I told y'all about. And this is why it takes me so long to get through my books, because I have to really, really sit with it. Like, really sit with it and digest it so that I can get it into my brain. It's not enough to just be like, oh, I read that book and that book. But what did you learn from it? And how are you applying it to your life? See, I need a while it takes me, I'm like an old ass IBM computer. It takes me a while to process stuff. That's why I put it in my song, processing, gotta keep it being when you step in the brain. It takes me a while to process stuff. Really understand it. But in here, what he was talking about is different personality types and different attitudes that you're gonna come across in people. And there's one attitude that's very combative and very negative. And they're like, so instead of trying to get them to be more positive, reaffirm their attitude. It will lower their defenses. So, for example, if they're like, well, I don't even understand how people can believe in a God that lets people get slaughtered, and look at what's happening in Palestine. Instead of being like, well, it's not really God's fault, man did that, and you got to look at the bigger picture, and everything happens for a reason in divine time. Instead of doing that, which is going to make them double down and get even angrier, affirm I understand. I can understand how you could feel that way. First of all, they probably have never had anybody say that to them. And it's going to make them immediately be less defensive and less combative. Even if that's not how you feel, the fact that there's no feeling in that but understanding. You can always offer someone your understanding even if you don't agree with them, especially if you're doing it strategically to lower their defenses. So you can slip in what is your truth and how you see things later, because that's not the time. See, conversations have to be very strategic. I have another book about that. Where is that communication book? It's a heavy read, so I had to put it up. Where is that book about? Hold on. Is it over here? Yes! That's right. Whew, this one is a heavy read. Very heavy read. Success with the Gentle Art of Verbal Self-Defense. They're successful language strategies, and it really breaks down the dynamics of a conversation. I need to get back into it. I'm in a way better place now. I haven't tried to read this in like 3 years. So when he was talking about the attitudes, one of the ways to counteract an attitude that does not want to conform or listen, anyone that doesn't want to listen to you, empower them. When you have to correct someone, if you do it in a way that empowers them, they're not going to be mad. Do you know how valuable that is? So many times I have to correct my children or show them that they maybe need to do something in a different way. See how it hits different? Instead of saying they did something wrong, show them how they can do something in a different way. Do you see how it hits different? This has really changed how I've talked to my children in the past week since I've been using that strategy with them. Instead of telling them, why don't you do the dishes? I'm really sick of this or that. Saying, so, hey, do you think you and your sister want to split those? Or maybe you should just leave your glasses in your room until you're ready to wash them. Come with compromise, come with logic, come with calm. Don't come with my emotions. There are no emotions. I had to remove my emotions because I realized they're not washing the dishes to be disrespectful. Everyone has a different schedule. And sometimes on the way out the door, they'll bring their dishes from their room and set it on the side of the sink to wash them later. But because you wash the dishes 3 times a day, OCD queen, it seems like everyone's leaving their dishes for you to wash. No, you just always wash the dishes. Then nobody asked you to wash them dishes, did they? See, there's always more than one side to things. And having another adult, because I'm always around teenagers, I see the people on the way to the dollar store, at the dollar store, on the way back from the dollar store. My teenagers, these animals, and people on YouTube. That's my world, other than my therapist. So she's the only adult that I actually get to talk to in real life, for real, about serious things. Shout out to my son for turning 20. All my sons are adults now. All I have to do is just raise up this one daughter. She has 2 years to be an adult on paper, but she's still my baby, though. They all are. But it really changed how I talk to my kids and how the house has been. The house has been so much calmer. So they were right. I really was the problem, and I could not see it. 2 years ago, I couldn't see that I was the problem with all the communication stuff that was going on, that I was starting all the arguments. I thought they were just making excuses and not taking accountability for what they were doing. All I could see is they were talking to me disrespectfully. They're like, no, you go from speaking very calmly to being very loud. So you're yelling at us. Me, I'm just, why aren't you? And it's just, I'm not realizing how loud my voice is. So now they feel like they're being yelled at. So before I even realize that I'm yelling at them, now they're raising their voice at me. I'm like, why are you raising your voice at me? They're like, you raised your voice at me. Like, no, I didn't. And now it's an argument. And whatever I was trying to talk to them about never gets dealt with, because now we're arguing at each other, and that's the issue. And now the third party, because it's more people than the 2 people that are arguing in this family, now they want to jump in. Why are you talking to mom like that? Why are you talking to my sibling like that? And it's a mess. And that was a cycle that we were caught in for so long. So shout out to our therapist. And we all have the same therapist, which we didn't at first, but we do now, which is actually great, because she gets a well-rounded picture of what the whole family dynamic is. So it's actually great having the same therapist. And she gives me a different way to look at things, and also a different way to shape my children's behavior so that I'm not taking it personally. She helps me see through the lens of their trauma and through their eyes, low-key. And so do they. When I stop talking and I'm cleaning the house and they just walk and in the room and they sit down and they talk and I'm not talking, I'm just listening, they show me who they are and how their mind works. So now I can approach them differently. I see them as people and not just problems. I see them as human beings with feelings and emotions and fears and goals instead of just hungry little things that don't wash their dishes. So me not talking as much, me staying out of social media and doing more around the house and spending more time with my kids, listening and observing who they are is turning me into a more efficient parent, a more solid person. And then I'm feeling more secure within myself because I'm not making mistakes so much. I'm not blowing up or losing my temper. And now I'm questioning, are you even making any progress? Have you changed at all? Because here you are yelling at them, but you just made a video about how not to yell at your kids. So what are you really doing? And now you're questioning everything in life. So this one change with this social media diet is changing everything. All these tiny little things that add up to huge, huge things in your life that I keep trying to change over years and over years ended up being affected by one small change that I made, which is a major change, which was doing this freaking diet and getting my behind out of that screen and into real life and into these books and figuring out how I can fix myself and my family because nobody else is going to do it but me. I love you. Thank you for being here with me and my cat and my turtle and my plants and my problems and my solutions. I will see you tomorrow. Peace. Subscribe if you like, hit the like if you like me.